Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Nat from Nat's Numbers. I'm also known as the numerology chick over on Instagram. And in this week's video, I'm going to be grappling with a very deep and existential question. How do we use the law of attraction in an effective way during challenging times? The reason why this is on my heart is because right now I have a handful of clients in my private practice who are being faced with legitimate traumatic events in their lives, and it's breaking my heart because they're coming to me and they're like, Nat, I am losing faith in myself, in my own power, and in my relationship to my cosmic best friend. Did I attract these horrible things? What is wrong with me? Why would I do this? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you an equation that can absolutely change your life. Because if you're like me, if you're like my clients, if you're one of us like honorable, respectable spiritualists, you have seen the effects of the law of attraction, but you have existential philosophical dilemmas with truly accepting it into your life. I'm going to share an equation that is going to finally blow your mind. It's going to allow you to face the inevitable experiences of life like death, loss, betrayal, running into some shady bad apple people. It's going to enable you to have those experiences but still maintain your belief in yourself, your power, and in the universe itself. It's going to teach you how to use the law of attraction in such a way that you are a spiritually mature and honorable person. All right, so first of all, let's just do a quick primer on what the law of attraction is. You probably already know if you clicked on this video, but the law of attraction is a spiritual principle that came out in the early 1900s. It really found its heyday in the New Thought movement because it says that like attracts like. So if you think positive thoughts, you're going to have a tendency to attract positive people and positive situations. And if you have negative thoughts, you're going to have the tendency to attract negative people and negative situations. The law of attraction is highly effective, can be incredibly life-changing, productive, and miraculous. And I'm going to show you why, okay? So I learned this equation from Jack Canfield, although I don't think that he meant for it to be like this existential commentary on the nature of life itself. But what it is E plus R equals O. There's an event, and then there's your response to the event, and that's what equals the outcome, right? So before the law of attraction, so many people really believed that E equals O. And so they believed that external forces or the external world was what produced the outcome. So, you know, you're born into a certain family, you work at a certain company, that the people around you, all of these things are what produce the outcomes that are in your life. And this is a very disempowering equation. It puts you into the place of the victim. And by the way, just as a random side note, in the spiritual New Age community, this still runs rampant and we don't notice it when it happens, but E equals O in the spiritual New Age community would be like Mercury retrograde, right? It's like that there are external forces that are exacting our fate, right? That we are just sort of powerless to the planets, to the numbers, etc. Okay, so this is something that shows up in a lot of different ways. But before the law of attraction, that is sort of where people were at. Okay. Oh no, my hair is probably affecting the microphone. Okay. So then the law of attraction showed up, and what it said was your response to the events in your life can affect the outcome. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions can alchemically produce a different reality. When I was introduced to the law of attraction, it changed my freaking life. I'm telling you, I watched The Secret. That's where I was really introduced to it. And it was a revelation to me. It caused me to think, if I wanted my life to go a certain way, how would I behave different? How would I think different if I really wanted the outcome to be my dream coming true? It changed the trajectory of my life. I wouldn't be doing what I do today if I did not awaken to the R, right? All right, so here's the challenge. this is the danger. This is where things get kind of tricky. As humans, we have a tendency to go to extremes. And so the other extreme that happened in the spiritual New Age movement is we removed E altogether from the equation. And we just now, some of us, consider R equals O, which means I'm 100% responsible for anything and everything that comes into my life. And that is what produces every single outcome, okay? And this is incredibly disempowering. You might think that it's not. You might think that, oh my God, I'm a 100% the God or goddess of my life. Everything that I am is what produces everything out there. This is incredibly disempowering. And the reason why is because it's not true. So let me illustrate why this isn't true. So E tells us that we're born into a playground of reality that, to be honest, is mysterious and transcendent, and we don't fully understand all of it, but we do understand a couple of things. In this external world, we could call it, in this playground of reality, there's, for instance, death and disease. You can't avoid it. No matter how hard you try, you can't avoid that. Now, you might say you can avoid disease and be happy and healthy for your whole life, but listen, at some point, you're going to get sick and you're going to die. You can't avoid that maybe you were born into a dysfunctional family, or that you were born into a nation at war, right? These are all components of the E. And this is so incredibly important because a lot of us, when we go to the extreme of R equals O, what actually happens is we're disempowered from truly being a capable, functioning human in the world. Somebody who understands and has the spiritual maturity to see that we are grappling with this reality, and that this reality gives us opportunities and resources and clay to play with our creative power. I've seen a lot of people in the New Age who try to stick here and stay here struggle big time. A lot of the time when people try to stay here, they have very, very difficult times maintaining this because it can't be maintained. Because it is a false premise, it's a false equation. This is why if the law of attraction is the only spiritual principle that you live by, you can't maintain it for very long. You will struggle, you will falter, you will fall into a hole, right? And it's not true. All right. So what is true is that there is this playground of reality. There are inevitable things that we're going to run into. There are billions of other people out there who are creating their own wacky holodecks of reality. Some of them are beautiful and amazing, and there's some people out there that are super shady, and you might run into them. What's so beautiful and enchanting about this spiritual equation is that there's absolute magic in it. You know, I think that the fear is, if we accept that E is here, that we are born into this world that we don't fully understand, and it's complex and very multi-layered. We're afraid that if we allow this to be here, that we no longer are powerful beings, that we no longer have creative control, that we're no longer magical. No. The R in the equation create so much magic. You have creative control. You have a say over the outcome in your life, no matter what you are facing. No matter what you are facing. So one of the best things that I think was ever written by any human, I know that's quite a thing to say, was written in the Fellowship of the Ring. And it was when Frodo was talking to the wise wizard Gandalf. So Frodo had lived in the Shire, which was this like idyllic utopian little community, and he was plucked from home and sent on this grand adventure where he had to face the existential darkness of life. He basically had to go on this quest to destroy the source of human corruption and to save the world, basically, which is quite a metaphor because that is what life is like. You know, it's not all unicorns and sunshine. We are grappling with mortality. We're grappling with good and evil. You know, we're grappling with all of these things. So he's sitting with Gandalf and he's looking at his quest ahead. And he's scared. He's looking at the E, basically. He's scared. I'm going to find the quote so that I don't butcher it. So Frodo says to Gandalf, I wish it need not have happened in my time. Like Frodo was saying, like, I wish that I didn't have to be the one that lives this, that experiences this, that has to deal with this. And Gandalf replies, and so do I. And so do all who live to see such times, but that's not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what we do with the time that's given to us. Best quote ever. I want it on my gravestone, okay? So the reason why the law of attraction, why the New Age self-development, self-help movement has developed such a popularity is because the R is so important. It tells us that we do have a say, that we get to decide what we do with the time that's given to us. We get to decide how we respond, how we react to the things that are presented to us, okay? But we are not responsible for everything and anything that we run into. We're not. So I'm going to now give you a couple of tools of how to use the law of attraction then during challenging times, right? So how do we use the R in the equation in a responsible, honorable way? How do we use this equation so that we develop that spiritual maturity to grapple with and face the inevitable challenges and experiences of life? The first thing that I want you to notice is you will be functioning under the false equation R equals O if you ask yourself, if you overanalyze, why did I attract that person, that situation, that thing? Which I know is something that is a practice in the spiritual movement, and I understand that there's a certain utility to it. But what I would say is instead, to use the law of attraction in an actually useful way, to ask yourself, how am I going to respond to this situation in a new and a different way? That is honoring this equation. People can get stuck in, if it's R equals O, they can get stuck in, why did I attract that person? What about me and my past and my vibration attracted this person, this situation, this thing? No, don't go there. Focus on how can you think, respond, act in a different way that is going to produce a more beneficial outcome, okay? Now you might ask, how do I do that? How do I start showing up and responding in a different way? How do I use the law of attraction when I am facing things that feel insurmountable, that feel overwhelming, that feel dark, that feel scary? I'm going to give you a couple of tools, okay? So tool number one, to really energize the R, so that you have a say over the outcome. Number one is really, really come back home to yourself. Come back home to your strengths, to how you were designed to be successful, to be a capable, functioning human in the world. This is why I absolutely love the work that I do, right? Numerology is one of the ways that we are able to decipher and decode what are our strengths, what are our gifts, what are our talents. Confidence is huge, and you can only be confident in how you respond if you are aware of these proficiencies that you have. So there's going to be a link in the description box to like a free report. You just put in your name and your birth date, and it'll give you some of the core numbers in your chart, so you can start to gently be reminded of what makes you awesome, of how the universe designed you to traverse and successfully travel in this weird, wacky reality that we call life, okay? All right. The second tool that I'm going to give you is a morning routine. This is my favorite morning routine that I do. It's a visualization technique. And basically what it does is it helps you step into your future self. It helps you become the version of you that you want to be. And by doing so, you become powerful. You become capable no matter what you face. Okay? This isn't about visualizing the physical things that you want in the future, right? This isn't, which is great, but that's not really where the power is. The power is Who can you become so that you can face these inevitable experiences of life with grace, with empowerment, with confidence? So if you sign up to my newsletter, and I'll put that link in the description box, you get like this free like download. It's a worksheet. It's 2 pages. It's called The Beginner's Guide to the Zero, but pay attention to page 2 because that's where I delineate this morning routine. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. First of all, you just create a vision board. You can do it on Pinterest. You can do it on a piece of paper, but you just come up with images of your future self. Who is your future self? Who is that future confident you that feels that they can face anything and everything in life, right? Are they fit? Are they healthy? Are they solution oriented? Do they stand tall and proud? How do they look? How do they dress? How do they act? How do they think? Try to come up with a vision board representation of this version of you. And then the second step is to come up with a soundtrack song. It's one simple song that really evokes the feeling of being that future self. And then in this worksheet, I delineate the steps to dive into. For 3 to 5 minutes, listen to that song and visualize your future self coming in to your life experience right now. How does that future self act? How does that future self think? How does the future self approach the day that you have ahead? If you do these 2 things, you develop self-awareness about what makes you awesome. And numerology is one of the fastest ways that I've found that we can do that. And you start to bring your future self into your present experience. You are going to notice that you become an alchemist in this reality, and that the outcome that is produced in your day-to-day life is one that will bypass your wildest dreams. That you can face anything and everything as that future self, being who you've always wanted to be, and feel like you truly are the empowered creator of your life. So, I covered a lot. This was a little bit of a different video. Make sure to check the description box if you want any of those links that I shared with you. And if you have follow-up questions, if you want me to do future videos on sort of these like spiritual principles, please let me know what kind of stuff you're curious about. And next week, I will definitely be uploading a new video on Friday. And I think the next one is definitely going to be numerology related, so stay tuned. Bye, guys.